Hi, guys. Welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. And it's the day before St. Patrick's Day, thus the green background, green eyeshadow for you, Bevins, and and all kinds of cool stuff right here before St. Patrick's Day. It means springtime, even though we are getting ready to have 3 nights of, of deep freeze warnings. So, good thing I hadn't had time to plant those plants outside yet. Okay, let me tell you what's going on. Today is March 13th, 2023. 3, 13, 23. When I go on a trip to a gaming facility, 3 is my start number. Just thought I'd share that. One of my friends, Perry Wentworth, years and years ago, 30 years ago, said, always start out with 3. That's what I do. Okay. Speaking of 3s, did you know Mexico has come up to a level 3? All right. Level 4 is do not travel. So, and for the first time, I regret to say this, but even Cancun and the area is included. Now they're targeting spring break specific. So we're talking about now through April. They're highly discouraging parents to allow spring breakers to go to Mexico. It was essentially Cabo. Well, if you go down the coastline, it was Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta, and that area. Now there's some red areas on the East Coast as well. So just a note of warning, and another 3 that came up. Okay. Not that I can do magic, but did you hear about the magician who was attacked as he was doing a show? And it was on Royal Caribbean. Okay, so in context, before the show, he asked for volunteers, and evidently, this lady and her boyfriend or husband, whatever he was or is, if he still is, but whatever he is, they agreed, and sure enough, she was chosen. He did several magic tricks that involved her participation, and one looked like it was dollar bills, a dollar bill folded and stuck in your mouth. And then the magician, he had one stuck in his mouth. And the issue happened when they came very close together, and one tabloid said it was an intimate performance, because just as they were about to touch their 2 pieces of paper, which would give them 6 inches apart, the guy, he runs the stage and he hits the magician and knocks him to the floor. Well, this guy just gets up and he storms out the door, probably more mad at his other half than he is really at this guy, but that's where the frustration came. This was on a Royal Caribbean ship, and this guy took to his Instagram and he shared lots of information. His big gripe was that no one from Royal Caribbean came and contacted him for his opinion or to take a statement of what happened for 7 days. The passenger was not asked to apologize, not asked to get off the ship. Virtually nothing. I want to know, tell me in the comments what you think of that. I was pretty shocked. That was very, very surprising. Before I go any further, I got to be able to see the comments tonight, because if Becky Matsuoka comes on, I am going to sing happy birthday to her. You know, you guys have met her before. She's my friend who lives in Puerto Vallarta, and she did that, one of those very first cruises that was the return into Australia. That was 24 days out of Los Angeles. So if she comes on, I'm going to sing. And I would just love it if you guys would comment for her to say happy birthday. That would be awesome. Anyway, okay, next thing. Did you know that MSC is offering an opportunity to be part of the Guinness World Book of Records? Now, they're doing this on 2 specific ships that they're sailing in Europe right now. I think they're kind of testing the grounds and seeing if this is a popular thing. It didn't say what records they were trying to break. So it could be, how high can I stack my food at the buffet? I don't know. Tell me what you think. But it will come out in the news in the coming weeks. And with MSC really having a U.S. presence, I mean, they have ships out of Los Angeles, out of Galveston, Texas, out of Miami, out of New York. They now have ships all around the U.S., and they're going to test this ground. Tell me if that's of interest to you. I really want to know. Okay, then next, it's kind of down on Royal Caribbean Day. Next, the Royal Caribbean ship that was headed from New York southbound, and it was doing a longer sailing. You know, it ports in Port Canaveral as a port of call, just like if Nassau was your first port. Well, Port Canaveral was going to be the first port of call, and then Nassau was the next port of call. Well, due to mechanical issues, I don't know what you do when check engine light comes on a ship, but due to mechanical issues, they skipped Port Canaveral and they're skipping Nassau. Now, this is so they can get farther south. I know that it includes Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. So, and they have a 3-day window to get back at the end of the sailing. So they'll make it, but wow, that is pretty wild. And one more Royal Caribbean ship is in the news, and not only Royal Caribbean and Holland American had to slow down their ships because of the whales that are in the water. The whales are headed northbound, and so are some of the ships. So they've agreed to slow down on behalf of the environment. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, let me tell you about a luxury liner and an issue that happened this week. This couple, a 78-year-old gentleman, and it didn't say how old his traveling companion was, but a girlfriend. While he was sailing on Oceania Sailing, he got the news that he had cancer. And within days, his health issues progressed. And they're sailing in the Caribbean. Oceania is a luxury liner. All rooms are suites. I'm blessed to have a few Oceania travelers myself. But this gentleman was sent to the hospital in Dominica. They started running tests, and the ship left. And what the girlfriend texted to her son was, I'm sitting here in a folded metal chair in a tiny little facility in Dominica, and the ship is gone. They started shooting or pinging Oceania, who pretty much sent back a statement that said, it is each traveler's responsibility to travel safely and responsibly, and it didn't say whether he had travel insurance, but it said, and travel insurance is one of the reasons that we support the purchase of travel insurance. It didn't sound like there was an apology. I'm sure in the coming days we'll hear more about this because Oceania is, one of the top lines. So, if you feel like commenting, I'd love to know what you think about it. I was surprised. I don't know if they had cell phones so that the ship could not contact them and say, hey, we're leaving in 2 hours, or I'm not sure, but that's the scoop today. Okay, next story. Did you know that you can reserve your check-in time for a flight, particularly with spring break coming up? And you know what those airports are going to look like? Hours of lines. Well, if you log in to reserve.clearme.com, reserve.clearme.com, within 72 hours of your flight departure, you can make a reservation. And you don't have to go into those super long lines. You and your traveling party can go to a separate check-in, and it's open from 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. Reach out to me if you didn't get that address. And as we're thinking spring break, well, we have to think Disney. So I just had to bring you some of the new Disney news. There are big promotions at Disney, and it's all but full. I mean, I've checked several dates where I'm trying to get multi-generational families like grandma and grandpa and an aunt and uncle and mom and dad and kids. And we're having a challenge. So in search for my customers, I'm looking at the Good Neighbor hotels. They're the same perks that you get with a Disney hotel, like you get to go into the park early. You get those hours after the park closes just for Disney Resort guests or Disney Good Neighbor guests. With that, it's up to 2 hours in the evening and 2 hours in the morning for theme parks. You can make reservations now for Disney Springs restaurants, and there are some, it's not a dining package like you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but there are some packages that now include food, like a dinner with the characters. We've always been able to book character dinners or character meals. This is just a little bit more. They're actually shows and meals. And when you get to looking for, you find hotel dates that we can be accommodated, but then we can't find reservations for meals. So one suggestion, and it was successful, is opentable.com. Now, opentable.com, it will allow you to see restaurants that are open in the Disney Springs area. There's free transportation from Disney, from any of the parks. You can get over to Disney Springs. As a matter of fact, it's a great first afternoon when you arrive, just to get kids excited without burning one of your park days. It has lots of events at night, and you can get into the House of Blues. There's lots of reservations that you can make right on opentable.com. It was successful for my travelers. Okay, and I didn't know until searching again for this family, there are tons of refillable water bottle stations. I carry around a large Yeti-like cup everywhere I go. I'm forever drinking water and try to. Did you know that any of the restaurants that have service will refill your own water bottle or your own cup? I didn't know that. I would have never thought to ask. There are some refilling stations. It doesn't give you ice, but you can push a button and it will refill your water. But I didn't know restaurants would do it. I thought that was a really cool tip, especially as we're getting into the warm season in Florida. Okay. I also found that the Space Road table in Epcot has a free water station. They'll even give you a disposable cup. Last one. Okay. Let's see. Okay, just a tiny bit more about Disney. And just to recap, be concerned if you know people going to Mexico for spring break. Level 3. Probably not the best idea. All right. One of the things that they asked me about was happy hour. Who knew? I didn't know if Disney had a happy hour. Yes. And so, some of the best deals were Luke Lindsay's hangar. It looks like an aviation building. Looks like an old hangar, kind of like House of Blues. But the hangar, as well as House of Blues, have got happy hours Monday through Thursday. So they're not going to do it on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but Monday through Thursday, $2 off all beers and $5 wines and additional appetizer specials between 4 and 6 p.m. For this family, that was very important. And I thought I would share it with you. Then the dining package is called Park Spectacular Packages. And they're dining packages that have potentially a play or a show included. Reach out to me for more details. It should be online very shortly. And then thinking about Genie Plus, especially as crowds build, you don't need it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You may need it the other days, and you can look at the load factors in the park and decide even that day before you buy a Genie Pass. And a Genie Pass is like, it gets you into the lightning, what do they call it? The lightning line. And it also provides you with discounts. They have extras for the Feast of Fantasy parades. If you have Genie Plus, you have specific areas that only you have access to. It is pretty cool. I only knew of customers who used it for the advantage of getting on rides quicker. Outsmarting the Genie Plus system for Disney, the 120-minute countdown. So like when you activate one of your coupons, it's 120 minutes. The clock is set. And the new Genie Plus it's just changing. You'll have to go on your My Disney experience. And if you're not familiar with that, then nowadays you really do need a travel agent. So remember, we're here to help you. We have Disney specialists. I'm not a Disney specialist anymore. There's just 350 restaurants in just Magic Kingdom alone. Yeah, my son's beyond that. We're going to go back to traveling internationally. But I have Disney specialists who do just this, and they can tell you exactly the right thing to do. Anyway, reach out to us. We're Action Travel. We're celebrating 33 years this year, and we are in downtown Mebane. This weekend, we are going to have the St. Ballsrick's Child Cancer Fundraiser. So in downtown Mebane, there will be food trucks, rides, face painting and crafts for kids, There will be vendors, public servant vendors, and they will be accepting challenges for people who want to have their head shaved. So we're going to participate as part of Clay Street Antiques and Treasures right downtown, and we'd love to have you come by when you get a chance. Let's see. I was going to read you one good quote that a friend sent me for St. Patrick's Day, and here it is. It says, a St. Patrick's Day prayer. And this is for the coming week. May God give you for every storm a rainbow, for every tear a smile. I need better glasses or to hold my phone closer. For every care a promise, and every blessing in each trial. For every problem sent by life, a faithful friend to share. For every sigh, a sweet song, and an answer for each prayer. Amen. Have a blessed week. I really liked this. If I could make it large, I would show it to you. It's funny because it comes from Horse Mafia because I really got into horses. See? St. Patrick's Day. So wear something green tomorrow, guys. Hey, Gina. Thank you for saying hello. You have a good night, too. Ciao.